Okay, welcome back for part 2 of our custom die, and I'm going to just show you some other tools. We're going to go back to our drawing, and you'll notice once we click it, thankfully our little bee has returned. One thing I did also want to mention is if you had it stuck on the edge, we can always just say show constraints and remove those constraints, and then you can move it again. So constraints are either your friend or your enemy. Once you've learned to use them, I promise you they'll be your friend, but starting out with they can be a bit tricky, especially if you can't see them, you don't know what's controlling your sketch. So one thing I might want to do, or you might want to do, is maybe have an outline of this creature. And so I'm going to use one of my favorite tools is the offset tool. So I'm going to say offset, and I'm just going to click on the shape. And 5 millimeters is obviously too much, so maybe something like 1 millimeter. That might even be too much. 0.5 millimeters, maybe that's more appropriate. So we're going to say 0.5 millimeters, and then in my new color function, actually I need to make my sketch visible again. In here, I can, in my new color, I'm going to put this is now another bit that's going to be a new shape. It's going to be part of that new shape. And then also in this here, you can see it actually is going down again. We also need to make sure that it's part of the cut. So, actually this is kind of interesting. What's happened is now that it is touching the other pieces, it's made it all one new piece. So it already is cut, and the way we can check that is by getting rid of part 1, getting rid of our drawing, and we can see, aha, here is what the new bit is going to look like. So I'm just going to rename this to black parts, and we'll just go back into our drawing and keep going. Again, it doesn't have to be an exact match, it's just an idea to get you started. So I will go back to the drawing, do a few more spline tools, and click, click, escape, click, click, escape, click, click, escape. And some of this is just a little bit of experience of how many splines do you need to make a shape. Usually it's when it goes from curving one way to another is a great time to put in a corner. And we're just grabbing these white control surfaces, and ta-da, we have a pretty good shape. Now, I don't think I've closed off my shape entirely, so why don't I do that? And if we're not sure if it's closed off, we can go back. Actually, it is closed off, haha, but it's closed off on the other side of this shape. So that actually might be okay. I might just ignore this part of the wing because it's hard to do in only 2 colors. So again, we could select here. I will select this part of the wing, and also in here I'll notice this edge is still a bit rough. We'll go back into our bee drawing and curve this out a little bit more, curve that out a little bit more, like so. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Some other tools that we might use here might include, let's see, actually I just finish the splines. We're going to go like this. This one, see how it goes in and then back out? This is definitely where we're going to want to have 2 different ones where it changes directions, and then kind of at the corners. And that should be fine for just one. Again, you want to hit the escape button until you get the arrow tool back, very important. And something like this. Okay. Alright, so we have some other curves that might be useful. Maybe if you have a semicircle, you might want to use something that looks kind of like this.